Botani, and welcome to the Sheds. Once again, we're shedding light on yet another political party. It's that time of promises, manifestos, firing leadership, and all these other things, purging of others, splinter groups, and everything you can think of. It's called coping.
Definitely so.
Definitely.
Cope is coping very well. And I must say, we have done the groundwork. We have worked so hard to try and take Cope back to its best days. Cope attracted wrong people
Yeah.
from the start with wrong ambitions.
All right.
And it's not easy to be on opposition politics.
Was the former President Thabo Mbeki the brain behind COPE?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but we all know that Mama Mbeki stood up to support COPE, and even when she passed on, she passed on as a member of COPE. She never changed that.
COPE started with 1.3 million, kept on going down. Basically, at every election, the representation of COPE in Parliament reduces. They're probably left with 2 now, if I'm not mistaken. Are you not worried that come 29th of May, you'll either emerge with 1 or nothing? And if you are worried, what are you doing differently to make sure that you either retain the 2 or increase? Because the trajectory of COPE has been downward since it started.
COPE is so down that it can no longer go more downer than that. We can only go up. We have reached the bottom. There is no other way to go down. It is to go up.
Botani, and welcome to the Sheds. Once again, we're shedding light on yet another political party. It's that time of promises, manifestos, firing leadership, and all these other things, purging of others, splinter groups, and everything you can think of. To do that, we're joined by COPE, and we're shedding light on COPE. And joining us is MrTom, Mofokeng. Molodal. And welcome to the Sheds.
Welcome to the Sheds. MrTom, Mofokeng.
Yes. It's called coping.
Definitely so.
Definitely.
COPE is coping very well. And I must say, we have done the groundwork. We have worked so hard to try and take COPE back to its best days, and we have achieved it.
Let's talk about COPE's best days. You started, I think you secured just under 2 million votes, if I'm not mistaken. 1.3 million votes. And when you started, you were threatening, you were to date the last political party to have seriously contended the ANC. You were a serious threat and breakaway that there were even instances where people were thinking you were actually going to take over the country. What MK is doing now is little compared to what COPE was all about. What happened?
Well, what I want to say is, COPE attracted wrong people from the start with wrong ambitions.
All right.
And it's not easy to be on opposition politics. Opposition politics are not for boys and girls. So many of the people that thought that it will be easy for them to get the seats to parliament didn't get them. And as the result of that, people started pushing one another for position and so on. And that's basically what happened at that time. And we have seen that happening in many political parties, and we are saying, there you are. Those are actually the early stage of any organization that come to display.
Okay. Yeah. On record again, MrTom, Mofokeng. And you're speaking about when COPE was formed around 2008, that it attracted a lot of wrong people, and it was a splinter party from the African National Congress. On the record, for our viewers as well, was the former President Thabo Mbeki the brain behind COPE?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but we all know that Mama Mbeki stood up to support COPE, and even when she passed on, she passed on as a member of COPE. She never changed that. But maybe President Mbeki might have sympathized with COPE, but I don't remember him doing it openly. And we, as the members of COPE and the founding members at that time, I think we stood very well behind him because there was no other better president that the country ever had than Mbeki.
And you still believe in that even today is COPE?
We still believed it. And if the constitution was allowing, I would be the first to say, give him a chance, because at that time, the country didn't owe anybody a cent. He actually came up with a well and best, let me say, best policies that made the economy of this country to grow, and which is the first thing that you have to do as a politician.
We'll come to what you are offering now and how you are campaigning your manifesto and things like that. Besides what we saw on the news and what was on the headlines, what was the actual bottleneck? What was at the center of the squabbles between Mbazima Shilowa and Utatulekota? What is it that, I mean, they probably had about 9 court battles, if I can remember very well. What was at the center of the disagreement so much?
I think the courts actually gave a very good final opinion about what was happening. The problem was Mr. Mbazima Shilowa rushed to be the president even before there was a Congress. So I think that is what made him not to. I think it's the issue of egos, it's the issue of thinking that you are popular than another, those kind of things. But the courts definitely proved him wrong, and that is why Ntatelkota is still the leader up to this day.
Because parties are crisscrossing the country, filling stadiums, filling arenas, posters are up, billboards are up. How is COPE preparing for these elections? What are your activities? What have you done? Are we going to see you at FNP Stadium, at Orlando Stadium, at Moses Mabhida? Moses Mabhida has been. If you have not been to Moses Mabhida, you are probably not serious. Exactly, exactly. Are you also coming to Moses Mabhida?
We have sat down as members of Congress of the People and say, how can we introduce modern politics in the country? You know, if you go to countries like Scandinavian countries, European countries, you never see people running around with T-shirts, people filling the stadia and all those kind of things. You don't see that. And that is actually done properly if your message gets into the hearts of the people. Because I don't have to go to a stadium. I don't see how you can attract a chartered accountant who is so busy, to go and make him run to the stadium to go and feel FNB, except if you are actually trembling on the needs of the people, dingling a carrot for the people to say, come, I'll give you free food and all those kind of.
There have been promises of a lot of political parties, especially when it comes to unemployment, promising of millions of jobs. How many millions of jobs is COPE promising, if any?
Look, we have to, as COPE, our number one target is to make sure that the middle class are taken care of. Before you can talk jobs and all those things, take care of your middle class, because it is the middle class that will create jobs. It is the middle class that are worried about whether there is medication in the hospital, whether my child has gone to school or not, all those kind of things. So this country has a very small pool of middle class. We want to enlarge that. And once that has been enlarged, people will voluntarily create jobs. Those who are interested in business will do so. Those who are professionals will do so. But the good thing about the middle class and focusing at the middle class is that as you focus at the middle class will pull the lowest class to where they are by providing jobs to them. And we all know that small business is the D thing that make the whole world to tick. Now, that is where COPE must start, and those people will get jobs, and jobs more than enough. Because some, we know that if you are a school principal or so, you have 3-4 people working and in your own house or something like that, taking care of your interest. And so is medical doctors, so is lawyers, and so on. Build the middle class, and then thereafter you can concentrate on creating jobs for those people that are lower.
And how do you go about to focus on middle class? How
Do you increase
in
salaries?
practical, yes,
Do you pay them more?
you reduce tax?
Do you reduce tax? Or what do you do?
Look, let me start by saying middle class people will increase your tax base. And with tax, you'll start doing things that others, that you need to do. But the how part of it is you need to make sure that you subsidize certain things, manufacturing, for example. If you subsidize manufacturing in any industry, then you start making sure that many people and those who are not even skilled are trained to get the job. The second thing is to make sure that in all sectors, and even the sector of agriculture, you go in there and make sure that those people are well taught, they understand the challenges that comes with agriculture, they understand what is it that they have to do to make agriculture their own business, importing, exporting, all those kind of things. They all come when you concentrate on your middle class.
The bigger portion of the vote is the youth. And the youth is known for not coming out to go and vote. And political parties are accused of not doing enough to attract the youth, of not doing enough to appeal to the youth. How does the COPE ensure that it appeals to the youth and that the youth go out in support of the COPE to go and cast their votes?
You see, the reason to why young people are no longer attracted to politics easier is because you can't fool them any longer. Most of them are exposed to education, which is something that we have to emphasize on. They know when you are lying. They know when you are saying, I'm going to build 1 million houses in Alexander, because obviously they will know, is there space for that and all those kind of things, But the whole issue is that we have to attract them by making sure that education doors are open for them. There are many companies that are not doing enough in trying to help with bursaries and so on. we will bring in young people in politics by exposing them to certain industry. You know, for example, if you look at Gauteng and you look at what has been happening in the Vereeniging area with steel, you know, yes, that has been a place where jobs were created. Every young person, whether you are a professional or trained inside, they were working there to work there. And we are saying what steel has to be produced here. We don't have to bring steel from China because we have iron ore. We have everything that it takes. Now, if you go into industries like that, if you say petrol, Eskom will have to buy diesel from Sasso, which is a company that is manufacturing here in South Africa. You're creating jobs, and you're actually making even the young people to be processed into a certain challenge. And there is a technology in everything that I'm talking about.
Ntate Mofokeng, we are talking about how to create jobs and what is COPE's plans in terms of creating jobs for, especially for young people. We spoke about the Vereeniging ArcelorMittal, used to be called ISCOM.
Yes.
So and I think recently they've been speaking about the laying off of workers in ArcelorMittal, in Vereeniging plant, because of load shedding and because the cost of production now is high. How would COPE, should people vote for COPE, how would COPE solve those kind of things to help ISCO to create more jobs?
I will start by sorting out Eskom. That's my first target.
Okay.
We've got coal. Coal will never go to what is that bay in KZN?
Richards Bay.
Richards Bay.
Richards
It
Bay.
will never go to Richards Bay. It will have to be here. That which is leftovers will go to Richards Bay.
Okay.
To make sure that I spoke about Sasso.
Yes.
Once you have enough diesel, you can actually start supplying there at a cheaper rate. You can now agriculture will be cheaper because you're using your local manufacturing of petrol.
Yes.
You give these others a chance, but it must be something like 60-40 on how you procure diesel, and from there you go on to make sure that technical schools are reintroduced in this country. You can just see that our young people have interest in using their hands, their minds, but there are no chances. For example, I think in Gauteng you are talking about 3-4 technology universities. You have to increase on that.
Crime is one of the biggest problems. People live in fear all the time. What is COPE's proposal to fight crime to a point where we live in a crime-free country?
In the first place, you are asking me a very interesting question about crime. And we are all victims to crime. COPE is saying there has to be inscription, military inscription. First of all, you have your grade 10, grade 12, let them go and serve the country and be taught how to protect the country and how to protect themselves. In other countries, even girls are introduced to that.
Everyone must be a soldier.
Exactly. At least you have a mama that can handle a gun and protect her children. It starts there. It's not only the police that will do that. But coming to the police, we are taking our manifesto to Hammanskraal. There used to be, in Hammanskraal, a police academy there. That is closed today. I'm told that they are specializing on something else there. But then police are now being trained by outsourcing the training to some individuals that I don't even know whether they understand and know more about crime prevention and so. But I'm making an example of that academy that was in Hammanskraal. Even the former homelands, everybody was training their police there. And we have seen how law and order was maintained. The first thing, as much as we need trainings of everything, start by training police, young people who are actually passionate about their country. If you go to other countries, you will see that even at the airports, a 23-year-old girl will be asking you a question and making sure that no wrong person is coming in and all those things. They will do that if we actually start by coming up with these academies. Crime starts there. Your Zama, which is the biggest scam that is happening in this country, where about 41 billion rand is actually stolen away from the country by people who are mining wrongly and sending these things out of the country and find their way to other countries and so on, like Dubai and all. Now, that is it's actually the problem of not having police that are actually specializing on certain things.
Mofokeng, I just want to ask also about your president, Ntate Musiwa Lekota. He was quoted having said that South Africa, and I think it's part of your manifesto, so you correct me if I'm wrong, that you want South Africans, citizens of South Africa, to vote directly their president. How do you see that? Can you unpack that for us? How would that envelope?
That is the best thing. Yeah. A lot of countries that are actually doing well with democracy are countries that are electing their presidents, or that got their presidents elected by the members of the country, by citizens.
Directly.
So a premier, so a mayors. Because now we are talking people who are actually going to lead and protect our interests as the country. I think you'll remember that COPE has been amongst all the NGOs that took that matter to court.
Constitutional Court.
Yes, to get to Constitutional Court. And the one of the independent candidates. Because this method of voting for the party, it's not working for us. If you stay in Thokoza, the people of Thokoza know you. They know how you have been behaving when you were growing up. They know whether you are suitable for a position that they can entrust you with or not. But once your name goes in the party list, and we don't even know who are the people that are there, that is how we get crooks even in government.
Just in closing, COPE started with 1.3 million, kept on going down. Basically, at every election, the representation of COPE in parliament reduces. They're probably left with 2 now, if I'm not mistaken. Are you not worried that come 29th of May, you'll either emerge with 1 or nothing? And if you are worried, what are you doing differently to make sure that you either retain the 2 or increase? Because the trajectory of COPE has been downward since it started.
COPE is so down that it can no longer go more down than that. We can.
It's all up. The rock bottom, yeah.
There is no other way to go down. It is to go up. And we are doing that by, number one, you must have seen the agreements that we have actually signed with the chiefs, traditional leaders.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we signed with them, and then we are.
They only sign with only you, because I know a lot of political parties have been approaching
Yes.
the chiefs.
I haven't seen
Okay.
any of them
Okay.
signing an agreement with
Can
them.
you share some of them?
Yes.
The Royal House of Amavu.
Yeah. And the agreement as well. What mean?
Well,
Penizati.
I may not remember them all, but it's 13 tribes
Wow. Okay.
in South Africa
Mm.
that have come under the umbrella of Congress of the People.
Oh, okay.
We are talking now to the Khoisan as well,
Okay.
you know. And these are people that politics have forgotten about them. And you can't leave your traditional leaders because their role is so important out there. If you go back home, for you to get a piece of land, you must approach them. Do they have that land?
Yeah.
The mineral, they are sitting on top of minerals that they cannot do anything. Seeing, international companies.
Well, Anglo-American.
Yes, yes.
Anglo-American. Now lately is companies from China. Taking the minerals away and taking them away from.
Just a few seconds. I'm interested in some of the agreements. What are some of the contents? You know, what is the agreement all about with the chiefs? What are you agreeing on?
The chiefs have realized that if they don't get into politics, nobody will hear them.
Okay.
They looked throughout all political parties and found COPE as the voice of reason and as the most trusted voice.
Okay.
And they approached us. We didn't go to them to say, look, we want to work together with you, but where it is possible, we want some of us to be elevated into positions of power.
Or to be in parliament, to be in government.
Yes. To be in parliament. The very same elections, we have that agreements to say a certain percentage of them will be
Khoshi, tla ba member of parliament.
the Khoshi, member of parliament.
But a point of order, Khoshi.
But the interesting thing is, Khoshi will be there speaking on behalf of people that are, you know.
So it's possible that you might see Mhlegas as king, there as chief in from Bakupa. Yes, Eastern King.
Yeah, being chased by sergeant at arms. If we had time, I would ask you if that does not reduce their relevance and stature in life, because they are the final arbiter as kings. But if you subject them to parliament as members, they'll be then be under the guidance of the rules of parliament, the order by the speaker, and things like that. But now we've run out of time, and wish you luck. Hopefully you will emerge from the bottom and have an upward trajectory. Good luck with your manifesto as well and everything that you are doing. Hoping to see you after the elections and maybe as Premier of Gauteng. You have been shedding light on COPE. Keep watching the Sheds. We come to you every Tuesday at 9 o'clock on Soweto TV, as well as 12 o'clock on Wednesday on the Sheds podcast. Subscribe, and keep growing the platform. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.